सहवीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। In the last class, we had done Mangala Charanam, invoking the blessings of all the Devatas and the whole Guru Parampara. So, we believe that their blessings will guide us in this study of this text, Tattvabodha, as well as the text which we will be seeing in the future. In the last class, if you remember, I pointed out my three assumptions and three requests. With the assumption that you remember the assumptions and the requests, we will start our today's class. In fact, today is So before getting into the actual text, we will discuss briefly, maybe for 2 or 3 or even more classes, it depends, on the fundamental topics, words and terms which are important for the beginners to understand clearly. Since you all have come to Vedanta pursuit with certain knowledge background about the topic, it's important to know the importance and follow a systematic approach for strongly entrenching the ideas in a connected way, in a proper way. Therefore, we will approach the subject matter systematically, and we will discuss all the related topics in sequence. So, I will start with Manushya Janma Prashansa, that is the glory of human birth. So, in this Bhumi, a lot of species are living. There are about 1.3 million life forms on this earth, according to the modern biologists. They say still many more life forms are yet to be identified. So they accept that the number of species as estimated by them is less. Our Shastra also says that there are about 84 lakh species in the world, that is 8.4 million. And these species are of various kinds. Aquatic creatures are there, amphibians, reptiles are there, birds, animals, insects, variety of species are there. And there are subspecies within the species. So our Shastra, it estimates, it says there are 8.4 million, 84 lakh species in the world. In Padma Purana, which is a Smriti Grantha, Smriti means Smaryate iti Smritihi. Smaryate, that which is remembered is called Smriti. What is remembered? What is taught by the Shruti is remembered by the Smriti. Shruyate iti Shrutihi. Shruti is that which is heard. That which is heard by the rishis, that is Shruti. And the same, what is heard from the Shruti is remembered in the form of descriptions, narrations, stories, that is called Smriti. So this Padma Purana is one of the Smriti. The author of Padma Purana is Vyasacharya. Vyasacharya, we don't know whether it is the same person or it is a different person. So Vyasacharya has wrote 18 Puranas, Mahabharata, and also the Brahma Sutra. So is Vyasacharya, we know, in the Parampara. So this in Padma Purana, there is a shloka. And the shloka is Jalajaha Navalakshani Stavaraha Laksha Vimshatihi Krimayaha Rudra Sankhyayaha Pakshinam Dashalaksham Trimshat Lakshani Pashavaha Chatur Lakshani Manavaha So, in this verse, if you see, Jalajaha Navalakshani. Jalajaha is Jale Jayate iti Jalajaha. That which is born in water. Or we can say Jalat Jayate iti Jalajaha. That which is born out of water. Whether if you say Jale in Saptami or Jalat in Panchami, both are fine. So it means that which is born in water. What is that? Aquatic creatures. Jalajaha. Nava Lakshani. Nava is 9. Lakshani, lakhs. So there are 9 lakh species in the water, living in the water. That is 0.9 million. So Jalajaha, it's a nice word, Jalajaha. So it covers all the species living in the water, all the aquatic creatures. Jalaja is a female name. Jalaja. Jalaja means that which is born in water. What does it mean? It also means lotus or lily. So Jalaja is a female name. But here in this context, Jalajaha, it means aquatic creatures. So 9 lakhs, 0.9 million species are there living in the water. Stavaraha Laksha Vimshatihi. Vimshatihi means 20. Laksha means Laksham, lakhs. So Stavaraha, there are 20 lakhs Stavaram are there. What is Stavaram? Stavaram is that which doesn't move. That is immobile. That is plants and trees. Here Stavaram also means mountains. But here Stavaram means plants and trees. Plants and trees are also living things. Therefore, there are 20 lakhs, that is 2 million species. Plants and trees are there. Krimayaha Rudra Sankhyayaha. Krimayaha is, it is Kirmi. Tamil is Kirmi, the same Kirmi. Kripi. In Sanskrit, Kripi. Krimi, Krimayaha. Like Harihi, Hari, Harayaha, Harishabdam Hari, Ikarantaha. It's Pullinga. Krimayaha is worms. Krimayaha is worms. Rudra Sankhyayaha. Rudra Sankhya. Rudra means 11. So there are 11 lakh species or there. Krimayaha. What worms? We can translate Krimayaha as worms or we can translate Krimayaha as reptiles. So there are 11 lakh reptiles are there. That is 1.1 million. Rudra means 11. Even in Rudram, Namakam, there are 11 Anuvakas are there. Even Chamakam, 11 Anuvakas are there. So Rudra means 11. Even the mantra in the Rudram, Namaste Astu Bhagavan. If you see the names which comes after Bhagavan, you will find 11 names will be coming. Namaste Astu Bhagavan, Vishveshwaraya, first name. Vishveshwaraya Mahadevaya Trambhataya Tripurantakaya Trikalaktikalaya Kalagni Rudraya Neelakantaya Pratyanjaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Sriman Mahadevaya Namaha. You see, 11 names are there. Ekadasha Rudraha is there. Ekadasha Rudraha. And this Ekadasha Rudraha, that's 11 names of Shiva are there. Like, Haraha, Bhagarupaha, Trayambakaha, Aparabhrishakatihi, Shambhuhu, Kapardihi, Raivataha, Mrigavyadaha, Sharvaha, Kapalihi. Kapalihi is also the name of Shiva. Kapalishwaraha. Actually, it is not Kabalishwara. Kapalishwara. Kapalascha, so Ishwarascha. The one who has the Kapala as a Diksha Patram is the Kapali. Kapalihi cha asau Ishwarascha. Tamil Adana Kabali Nadu. So, what I am saying is Rudra is 11. So, there are 11 lakhs reptiles are there, species. Pakshinam Dashalaksham. Pakshi means we know birds. There are 10 lakhs birds, 10 lakh species of birds are there. That is 1 million. Trimshata Lakshani Pashavaha. Pashu means animals. Pashu, Pashavaha. So, Pashavaha, Bhagavachanam. So, animals. Trimshat is 30. So, 30 lakhs animals are there. Chatur Lakshani Manavaha. What is Manavaha here? Manavaha is not only human beings. Here Manavaha means human-like animals. How many are there? Chaturlakshani. Chaturlakshani is 4 lakhs. That is 0.4 million. Manavaha. Chaturlakshani. Manavaha. So Manavaha here human-like animals means it includes all the apes, orangutan, chimpanzee, even human beings also included in the group. So there are 4 lakh species of Manavaha. Manava is there. Even in modern biology, there are certain species which are grouped into the genus called Homo. And within the genus Homo, we have a family which has many species. Homo erectus, Homo sapiens. Like that, there are many species are there. In fact, these are nothing but Manavaha only. That is human-like animals. In that group, Manava group, modern human being is also one among them. The modern human being, it belongs to this group. The species in this group, this Manava group, is characterized by a large cranial capacity. And the limb structures are different and well-developed thumbs, etc. So here this cranial capacity. By cranial capacity, what modern biologists they mean is, or I suppose it means intelligence. Human beings have this extraordinary development of cranial capacity. Therefore, it means what? Human beings are intelligent. So of all the species, whether it is 8.4 million or 1.3 million, Sarvesham Pranina Madhye, this Narajanma, Manushya Janma is extraordinary. If at all, if there is any extraordinary thing in the universe, it is human being alone. Therefore, now we have derived a fact among all the species, Sarve Jantunam, human beings are intelligent. Human beings are the most intelligent species. Our scriptures also, it praises human beings. In Viveka Chudamani, which is also a Prakarana Grantha, Vedantic treatise like Tattvabodha, which is attributed to Adi Shankaracharya. Viveka Chudamani, it starts with this sloka. Jantunam narajanma durlabham mataha Umstvam tato viprata tasmad vaidika dharma marga parata vidvatkamasmat param atmanatma vivechanam svanabhavo brahmatmana samstitihi muktirno shatajanma koti sukrutaihi punyair vina labhyate. So in the beginning of the text itself starts like this, Jantunam narajanma durlabham. First line itself, it praises human beings. And Acharya Bhagatpada, he enumerates a list of blessings in this verse. All these are durlabham. Jantunam narajanma durlabham iti. So Jantunam, Jantu means species. Jantunam, narajanma, manushya janma. Of all the species, manushya janma, this narajanma is durlabham. What is durlabham? Dukkhena labhyate iti durlabham. That which is obtained with great difficulty. That is what? That is durlabham. So, why it is durlabham? See, of all the 84 lakh species, to get a human birth, you know the probability. Of course, that is the same probability for taking any birth, any janma, any species janma. But Manushya janma is durlabham. Why? Because this moksha is possible only through human body, human birth. Therefore, it is durlabham. And the Acharya, in the same Viveka Chudamani, in the third verse, he gives another small list of durlabham. Manushyatvam mumukshutvam magha purusha samsayah durlabham trayame vaitat deva nugraha hetukam. Etat trayam durlabham. Durlabhat trayam. What are those durlabhat trayam? Manushyatvam is durlabham. Mumukshutvam durlabham. Magha purusha samsayah. These are all very simple words. Manushyatvam. So, to get a human body is durlabham. And mumukshutvam is durlabham. Why human body? Only when you have a human body, you will have a human brain. Only brain is there, we will think. Only when you think, there will be a desire to become free. That longing for liberation, it arises only in human being. A cow will not have cannot be a mumukshu. Therefore, Manushyatvam is first Durlabham, Mumukshutvam is the second Durlabham. Not all the human beings have this Mumukshutvam. Not everybody is a Mumukshu. Therefore, the second Durlabham is Mumukshutvam. And the third Durlabham is, okay, you have a desire, a strong desire for moksha, but if you don't have the Mahapurusha Samshaya, that contact with the great Mahatmas, that Satsanga is not there, then that Mumukshutvam also will not fructify. So these three are Durlabham. The first Durlabham is Manushyatvam. Therefore, that is why I started with Manushya Janma, Prasamsa, the glory of human birth. This Vedanta is only for human. This moksha is only for human beings. Therefore, Manushyatvam is not ordinary. Why? Because only human beings have this distinct faculty of the brain. That is buddhi. All beings other than humans, they are programmed. They have a programmed brain like any electronic device or software. It is not a mechanical programming, but programming with a bit of intelligence. But this, the intelligence limited in those beings other than humans, it manifests in keeping with the physical structure, the body. And animals are guided by instincts, so they don't have the faculty of choosing the response and change their programming, which Ishvara has done. In human beings, that intelligence is more. Or in other words, we can say that intelligence, buddhi, it manifests to the fullest degree only in human beings. So, and this buddhi, it is sukshma. You cannot see this buddhi. You can assume the person as buddhi only through his action, only through his thinking. Our brain is gross, and brain is considered to be the locus of this intelligence, buddhi. Brain is only a physical structure. It's called golakam in Sanskrit. And buddhi has its locus in the brain. See, golakam it's only a physical aperture. Like, I have got eyes are there. Eyes, what you see, the physical eyes is only a golakam. But it is, and the vision is not there, it is only a golakam. The vision has to be there. What is that? That indriya, that indriyam should be there behind the golakam. Then only the eyes will function. So therefore, in the same way, your brain is only a golakam, and buddhi is there in the brain. That is the locus of buddhi is the brain. And human beings have this extraordinary, this cranial capacity. Therefore, he can think. Because he can think, therefore, he has the potential to become a Buddha. Without thinking, he becomes only a Buddha. So, the glory of this human beings is because of his buddhi. Because he can think, therefore, he can become a mumukshu. Therefore, the mumukshu are those who have started the journey to start with by thinking. There is a subhashitam which glorifies this buddhi. Ahara nidra bayamaittu nancha samanyam etat pasibir naranam buddhirhi tesham adhiko visheshaha buddhyadhinaha pasibis samanaha. There is the meaning is very nidra bayara. Agara is food. Amida satamari. Agara, food. Nidra is sleep. Baya is fear. Fear of attacked by external things, external beings. So the instinct to survive, bayam is there. And maitunam is to continue the lineage, reproduction. So these four things, agara, nidra, baya, maitunam. These four things are common for both the animals and the human beings. Then what is that extraordinary thing human being has got? Buddhihi. Buddhihi, he கேஷாம் அதிகோ விசேஷா. The விசேஷமானது என்னதுன்னா புத்தி தான். That only distinguishes a human being from animals. Buddhya viginaha pashuvis samanaha. Devoid of buddhi, human beings are nothing but animals. Therefore, we can understand the greatness of this buddhi, which we are endowed with. Even in Gayatri Mantra, what we ask is as far as intelligence. Intelligence everybody has, but there is an obstruction. Inhibition is there in its manifestation. A lot of obstructions are there. So that obstructions have to go. That is what through Gayatri Mantra we ask for. Diyo yoda prachodayat. Diyo, diyaha is buddhi. Dig, diyo, diyaha. Bhagavachanam again, dig means buddhi. Diyaha is buddhi. Here Bhagavachanam it is because Gayatri Mantra it's not a singular prayer, it's a plural prayer. That is we pray. That is how it goes. So, diyaha, yaha, naha prachodayat. Naga is asmakam. Asmakam diyaha. Our minds. Yaha is Ishvaraha Savituhu Prachodayat. May the Ishvara illumine our buddhi. Illumine our buddhi means may the Ishvara give us a capacity to think. Because being endowed with buddhi, if we don't think, then we behave like animals. Therefore buddhi. Diyo yona prachodayat. So, now we can come to the conclusion. Therefore, the greatness of human being is due to buddhi. Among all the species, human beings are the greatest. Why? Because of this buddhi. Now you understand why we do this Manushya Janma Prashamsa in the beginning. Jantunam Narajanma Durlabam. And there are some people, who don't use their buddhi. They behave like animals. We are not talking about them. We are talking about a normal, average human being. Even Bhartrhari says in his Niti Shatakam, Manisha Rupena Mrigaha Charanti. Mrigaha is animal. So in the form of human beings, animals are moving. They don't use their buddhi, the faculty given to them. Therefore, because human being has this buddhi, human beings are self-conscious, is endowed with self-awareness, is aware of his thoughts, is aware of his words, actions, and therefore he has the ability to change it depending on the situation, is capable of choosing his response with reference to time, place, and situation, because he is not programmed like animals. Therefore, he can respond appropriately. This human being, when I say is self-conscious, it means is conscious about himself. We are conscious about our physical personality. We are conscious about our mental personality. And self-consciousness, what happens is, it leads to self-image. And this self-image, which is drawn by our own estimation of ourselves, most of the time it seems to be wrong. The self-image, this self-image what we have drawn, it has its source from two things. Number one, our own estimation about ourselves. Number two, the ideas what we borrow from others. Once the self-image is drawn, then I dwell on it. If I have a poor self-image, which it leads to poor self-esteem, then I will not accept me, even if others praise me. So, poor self-esteem is the problem because of poor self-image. I don't look into whether the image about me is correct. I just take it for granted and work on to improve it. Therefore, this self-consciousness, thanks to buddhi, it leads to self-judgment. I judge myself. I condemn myself. I criticize myself. and I become an enemy to myself. So this self-judgment, it means self-conclusion. I conclude about myself. This self-view or self-image, the self-conclusion, it is not acceptable to me. Therefore, I hate it. The self-image about myself is now in a miserable condition. That is why I do all the things to improve it. Whether it is changing my outfit or my hairstyle or costumes or straightening my nose or even correcting my projecting teeth, because it doesn't look good when I smile. Somebody has suggested for me to do this surgery for my the teeth. Anyway, so these things, I think it will help me to improve my thinking about myself. This is called working on improvement of self-image. I do it and I feel good for some time. Then what happens? Then something else comes. So all the time I camouflage myself in many ways and trying to have a good self-image. But one or the other things always crop up. I'm never satisfied with myself. All the efforts which I make to approve myself, it's all like straightening the dog's tail. Therefore, in short, I am not acceptable to myself. Therefore, self-non-acceptance is a problem. So, now can you see the connection? First, human beings have buddhi. Thanks to buddhi, I am self-conscious. And because of self-consciousness, I have a self-image, which is generally wrong. And this self-image is not acceptable to me. You see the trap we are caught into. It's all because of, can we say it's all because of buddhi? No, we cannot blame the buddhi, because buddhi distinguishes me from other species. In fact, buddhi gives me the freedom to search for freedom. Therefore, we cannot blame the buddhi. And therefore, if self-non-acceptance is a problem, then what is the solution? Self-acceptance. Accept yourself. Accept myself. How do I do that? By removing the wrong notion about myself. For that, I need to have a correct knowledge about myself. It is called Atma Vidya. Because buddhi is there in me, therefore I am eligible for this Vidya. None other species can strive to attain moksha. A cow cannot do it. Only human beings can do it, because he has buddhi. Therefore, for moksha, what we need knowledge. Because the problem is notional. It is a notional problem. And therefore, for the notional problem, the solution has to be knowledge, jnanam. To remove the wrong notion, I need the correct knowledge. That is the solution. There is an interesting story. This story Swamiji told in the beginning of our course. Though I have heard it before, but the way Swamiji told was very nice. So he was the only passenger in the boat. Therefore, he initiated a conversation with the boatman, and he asked the boatman, "Sir, do you know grammar? Vyakaranam?" The boatman replied, "No. What is grammar?" The Panditji then said, "Oh God, one-fourth of your life has gone." Then the Panditji asked, "Have you studied literature, studied Kalidasa?" Then the boatman said, "No. Another one-fourth of your life has gone." Panditji told, "Can you at least read and write?" Panditji asked. The boatman replied, "No, I cannot read, I cannot write." Then the Panditji told, "One more fourth of your life has gone." So now the boatman, he felt that he was living only one-fourth of his life. And the boat was moving. And Panditji, he noticed water seeping into the boat. He called the boatman and showed him. The boatman understood the situation. He tried to block the hole. Now the boat was half filled with water and it was sinking. Boatman knows he could not save the boat. So he asked the Panditji, do you know swimming? Panditji said, I don't know swimming. Then the boatman said, I'm very sorry, Panditji, your whole life has gone. You know all the Vidya, but what about Tarana Vidya? Swimming, the knowledge of swimming, that you don't know, so your whole life has gone. So, this story, it conveys the message that to cross the river of samsara, what you need is knowledge, this Atma Vidya. This is the only knowledge which takes us across the ocean of samsara. This is the Tarana Vidya. We may have all other knowledge, but those knowledge will not help. The knowledge which doesn't contribute to our spiritual welfare, which doesn't contribute, that is not real knowledge at all. So, the Atma Vidya, like Tarana Vidya, without Atma Vidya, all other knowledge is useless. Therefore, this Vidya, this Atma Vidya, is Sarva Vidya Pratistham. So, this Vidya, Atma Vidya, or Brahma Vidya, or Para Vidya, which in the language of Mundaka Upanishad, or Bhuma Vidya, in the language of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, or Akshara Vidya, or Arsha Vidya, is a Vidya that makes you cross the ocean of samsara. Arsha Vidya is a nice name for this knowledge, Atma Vidya. The word Arsha, it is derived from the root, it is derived from the word Rishi. Rishehe idam Arsham. It is a Tadita, Arsha Vidya. So without this Vidya, every other Vidya is useless. Like the Panditji, who doesn't know swimming. So without this Vidya, you have all other Vidyas. It means it's only an ornament. It's only a makeup. A makeup generally a person does. Why? Because he thinks I'm beautiful. I'm not looking all right. And the person can apply any amount of makeup, but behind that makeup, the person is not accepting himself. In spite of any amount of makeup, the person knows he is ugly. And for that knowledge, there is no cover up. There is no makeup for that knowledge. Therefore, this Atma Vidya, the only Vidya which helps one to cross the ocean of samsara by removing the wrong notion about myself, is only valid and it is the only Vidya, real Vidya. All Vidyas are nothing but only decorations. Therefore, Atma Vidya is the solution for the struggle in me, which is in the form of self non-acceptance. When I look at my own life experiences, I see one thing invariably present in me all the time. That is the struggle to be different, from what I am now. So whether it is man or woman, young or old, we see there is a continuous effort to be different, to become something. And this process of becoming, it begins the moment we are born. And it is called samsaraha. Samsaraha is a life of becoming. The life of becoming is called samsara. We want to become something. So that is called samsaraha. And what is the root cause? The root cause of samsara is self non-acceptance. This self non-acceptance is a basis for all the struggles to be different. If I want to become someone, in order to be somebody, it means there is definitely a self-image which I don't accept. There is the idea that I am nobody. And therefore, there is a need in me to become somebody. Need to become somebody, it arises in me. Therefore, this thought, wanting to become somebody, it continues. It expresses in the form of continuous struggle to achieve various things in life, whether it is money or profession or family or security or happiness, whatever it may be. So, I think after achieving what I want, I can say that I no longer want to become somebody. But it doesn't happen. This thought of wanting to become somebody, it continues. So all my life I work hard to improve myself, to make myself completely acceptable to myself, to create an image that I am somebody in the society, to approve myself, self-approval. Why? Because to remove the notion that I am incomplete, to remove the notion that I am inadequate. But the vision of Veda is different. Veda says, I am a complete man. Therefore, what happens now? I am inadequate, I am incomplete, it's not acceptable to me. That is, Veda also supports that. Therefore, I am inadequate, I am incomplete, which is not acceptable to me. That is what the Veda corroborates. Veda says you are a complete man, complete person. Therefore, this self-non-acceptance is a problem. Then what is the solution? Simple. Accept. Accept yourself. Accept myself. Why am I not acceptable to myself? Because I have a strong notion about myself. Therefore, I am not acceptable to myself. Suppose if I accept myself, what will happen? Will I become happy when I accept myself? Yeah. When I accept myself, I feel good. I become pleased. I feel happy. But the problem is that instead of accepting me, I look for happiness outside of me, all around, in the form of achieving things, which would give me a feeling of acceptance. In fact, this problem of self-non-acceptance, as I said, it's a notional problem. How can you get the solution for it by achieving things from external world? But I look for the solution all over, outside of me. And this is called pravrittihi. This is called pravrittihi. Pravrittihi, it means the activities, the tendency, which are intended towards a life of becoming. So looking for the solution all over, thinking that the source of happiness is located outside of me. To begin with, it is fine, because this is how the search starts. It will continue life after life till we come across the good message. This is a good message. What is a good message? You are the problem, you are the solution. You are the solution, that comes later. But before that, there are a lot of pravritti in me, in the form of achieving things, getting things. That gives me a sense of approval, self-approval. How do I come upon this pravritti? And what is the view of Shastram on my pravritti? This pravritti is another topic that we have to deal with it in detail. I will give a gist of what is that now, but we will see in detail the next class. This pravritti is our search for happiness outside, because we have concluded that happiness is located outside. Our Shastra also accepts this search in the beginning, because I have concluded about myself in the beginning. Therefore, I have concluded about myself. What is the conclusion? That I am not acceptable to myself. So I have to do something to make myself acceptable. Therefore, to accept myself, what I have to do? So that to make myself happy, so that happiness is located outside. So I have to do things to get things, achieve things that will make me happy. That will give me a self-approval. That is how our search begins. The Shastra will not negate our search. It will not put down us in the beginning. It will encourage. Yes, you do a lot of pravritti. Because, you know why the Shastra does that? If Shastra teaches me in the beginning, you are the solution, they will not accept. Because I have a strong conclusion about myself. So if Shastra says you are the solution, I will not accept the Shastra. I will reject the Shastra. Therefore, the Shastra, which has infinite compassion, it will not disappoint anyone who approaches the Shastra with a firm conclusion that happiness is located outside and I have to hunt for it. For those the people who approach with this attitude, the Shastra will give the list of things to do and have this experience outside. What are those things? What are the pravritti which Shastra suggests? That we will see in detail in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Sorry, there are some mosquitoes around me. It is disturbing. I didn't switch on the fan because that will create a noise.